Hey y'all, it's Corey the Man. I'm up to date on the chat. We got the chat that just popped up. I don't be. um, yeah, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna get on my shit. I'm gonna get on my YouTube account while we live streaming so I can check in and see what y'all talking about. What y'all talking about? I saw somebody that was up. My boy kicking it Ross. Not my boy. But he uploaded a video like 30 minutes. I hope it's not that long. No, it's not. It's only 22.
WWE Royal Rumble facts that sound fake but are actually 100% true. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on WrestleMania XL. Number 30 almost holds this obscure record. The 2021 Royal Rumble saw Almost eliminate Rey Mysterio and Big E. Sounds normal, right? Well, the issue with this is that Almost was never in the match. He was just at ringside to support AJ Styles. This means that the Nigerian giant holds the official record for the most eliminations from someone who was never booked in the 30-man matchup. Now, there was some debate at the time whether these counted as official eliminations. WWE have been flexible on the idea of a wrestler being eliminated by someone not in the match, or even someone that's already been eliminated, such as the 1996 Royal Rumble where Vader created chaos after he was eliminated. However, it appears that WWE have changed the rules based on the story that they're trying to present. Number 29, Jack Swagger's unfortunate record. A former world champion Jack Swagger holds an unfortunate record in the annual Royal Rumble match. Despite being in 6 Rumble matches across his WWE tenure, Swagger has never been able to eliminate a single wrestler. Now, this unfortunate record is also shared by Matt Bloom, whose various gimmicks ranging from Albert to Lord Tensai were unable to reward him with a single elimination. Now, this is a rather unique record, as it's hard for wrestlers to appear in that many Rumbles and do virtually nothing. If it was going to happen, then logic would suggest it would be an outright jobber who was never able to obtain elimination. So it comes as a surprise that this record goes to a former world champion and a WWE veteran.
At Job Corps, you could work towards a career.
Job Corps provides free schooling, free tuition, free housing, free food.
Number 28, only 2 wrestlers competed in Rumbles in 4 different decades. Shawn Michaels and Hacksaw Jim Duggan have 2 things in common. Both of them are former Royal Rumble winners, with HBK winning the 1995 and 1996 respectively, and Duggan of course winning the inaugural Royal Rumble back in 1988. But that's not the only thing these two share, as the two legends are the only 2 wrestlers to compete in the Rumble in 4 different decades, with those decades being the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and 2010s. This record was solidified when Duggan made a surprise cameo in the 2012 Rumble, receiving one of the biggest pops of the night in the process. Number 27, WWE produced unofficial Royal Rumble matches. Now, over the years, WWE have produced numerous Royal Rumble matches that didn't actually take place at the actual pay-per-view itself. These usually take place on television, such as Raw or SmackDown, and even sometimes at WWE live events. In the middle of January in 1994, WWE decided to give fans a huge treat by giving them a 30-man Rumble match. The match would actually be won by the late great Owen Hart. Now, additionally, there was a Tag Team Rumble on the 15th June 1998 episode of Raw. The match would end up being won by the oddball tag team of Kane and Mankind. On the January 11th, 1999, a corporate rumble involving the members of the corporation and DX held to determine the 30th entrant in the annual Royal Rumble. The match was won by Chyna, who last eliminated Vince McMahon. 2 Royal Rumbles occurred on SmackDown in the year 2004. The first was a 4-man Rumble which saw Chris Benoit take on the FBI, and the second was a 15-man Rumble which was won by Eddie Guerrero, who would go on to wrestle and defeat Brock Lesnar at the 2004 No Way Out pay-per-view. In early 2008, WWE had one of the most unusual Rumble matches to date, as Vince McMahon organized a mini Rumble involving midget wrestlers. Hornswoggle would go on to win the match in a style of Rumble that is unlikely to ever be replicated. But perhaps one of the most famous Rumble matches, due to it being in the PG era, took place in 2011. A Royal Rumble aired to crown a new #1 contender for The Miz's WWE title, and the match would end up being won by Jerry the King Lawler, and Lawler would end up facing The Miz for the title at Elimination Chamber. Number 26, the first ever Rumble. Now, whilst in terms of WWE lore, the first Rumble was in 1988, the concept actually debuted the year prior. The very first Rumble took place at a live event in St. Louis in 1987, and the match featured only 12 men and was won by one-man gang who would go on to challenge Hulk Hogan for the WWE title in a losing effort. And the reception to the match must have been positive, and it would no doubt play a major factor in WWE introducing the concept as a pay-per-view event. In fact, the creator itself of the Royal Rumble, Pat Patterson, wanted to award the winner of the Royal Rumble a Patterson Cup, similarly to the Stanley Cup in ice hockey. Whilst the winner didn't get anything at all in the early Royal Rumbles, a WWE Championship match would then be awarded to the winner at WrestleMania. Number 25, the actual first person to point at the WrestleMania sign was... Now, there's a lot of false information surrounding the wrestler who was the first one to point at the WrestleMania sign. In 2007, The Undertaker was the first man to point at the sign, but he did this at the No Way Out pay-per-view as opposed to the Royal Rumble. In 2008, John Cena pointed at the sign following his win, and this actually started a trend that WWE maintains to this day. Therefore, it was actually John Cena who was the first man to officially point at the sign following the Rumble match itself. Number 24, these two wrestlers have never faced each other 1v1, and one of the main story threads in the 2006 Royal Rumble was the action between Rey Mysterio and Triple H. The game would enter at number 1 and Mysterio would enter at number 2, and the two wrestled on and off for an hour. These two legends had incredible chemistry, and after the match, there were calls for WWE to move forward with a feud between the two. Unfortunately, this never happened, and the two never had a 1v1 showdown in WWE. Speaking of the Lad Bible, the game referenced the fact that he never worked directly with Rey Mysterio. I always wanted to work with Rey Mysterio, you know, but I think I've been in the ring with him like twice my entire career. You know, there's certain guys like that I always would watch them work and be like, oh, I'm such a fan of his work. And I could just feel what working with him would be like and how easy that would be and how big we could make it. Triple H vs Mysterio would have been a blockbuster feud, and it's a damn shame that it never occurred in WWE. Number 23, most wrestlers to eliminate one wrestler is... And Viscera made yet another appearance in the 2007 Royal Rumble, and his appearance was notable as it took a total of 9 men to eliminate the Super Heavyweight from the match. Now, the spot itself received a huge pop from the crowd, and although spots of this nature aren't uncommon, this was definitely one of the better ways that WWE have booked this spot. Number 22, Randy Orton spent almost an hour in the match and didn't eliminate a single wrestler. Now, the 2021 Royal Rumble took place during the COVID-19 pandemic, and due to this, WWE presented their show in front of 0 physical fans. Despite this, both men's and women's Rumbles received great reviews, and WWE and their talent did an outstanding job under unique and difficult circumstances. The men's Rumble was interesting though, as Randy Orton managed to spend almost an hour in the match, at 58 minutes and 30 seconds to be precise, but he didn't eliminate a single wrestler. WWE would book an injury angle during the first portion of the match, which seemingly took Orton out of action. In the final moments, Orton would make a heroic return, only to be eliminated by the eventual winner, Edge. Now, if this occurred in front of a live crowd, then the fans would have eaten this up.
56 years ago, we conquered the moon. Now Verizon is conquering dead zones with satellite, and I'm helping them do it.
As it was a fantastic idea for a Rumble spot. Number 21, the Great Khali has the worst Rumble record. A logic would suggest that the Great Khali would have a stellar Royal Rumble track record. However, that simply isn't the case. The former world champion has appeared in 9 Royal Rumbles in total, and shockingly, Khali has been in the match for 20 minutes and 47 seconds. This of course averages out horrendously for Khali, making him one of the worst Rumble competitors of all time from an endurance perspective. With that being said, Khali has a total of 11 eliminations, having eliminated legends such as CM Punk, Rob Van Dam, and Bray Wyatt. Number 20, the true gold standard. Shelton Benjamin was always a great pick for a Royal Rumble, as Benjamin could be incorporated into exciting spots throughout the duration of the match. Now, an interesting fact about Benjamin is that he became the first man to compete at 3 different Rumbles for 3 different brands, those brands being Raw, SmackDown, and ECW. The former Intercontinental Champion also became the first man to be eliminated by the same individual in 3 consecutive Rumble matches. In 2006, 2007, and 2008, Benjamin was eliminated by Mr. WrestleMania himself, Shawn Michaels. Number 19, the 2020 Royal Rumble had the highest percentage of winners. And the 2020 Men's Royal Rumble received widespread acclaim. The match was seen as one of the greatest Rumble matches in WWE history, and there's an interesting fact about the names involved in the match itself. This Rumble had the highest percentage of future or former winners in the match. These names were Braun Strowman, if counting the greatest Royal Rumble, Brock Lesnar, Drew McIntyre, Edge, Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Shinsuke Nakamura. These names made up for a staggering total of 30% of the field. Number 18, the 2015 Royal Rumble only had one future former winner. Now, unlike the 2020 Royal Rumble, the 2015 Rumble was hated by fans. WWE placed a spotlight on Roman Reigns only for the fans to outright reject WWE's backwards booking. Now, an unknown fact about the 2015 field is that it only had one future or former winner, and that was the eventual winner, Roman Reigns. The match featured elite names such as Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan, but neither of these names have ever been victorious in the Rumble itself. Number 17, The Big Show has never been eliminated by a group. Now, even though wrestlers in the Royal Rumble teaming up to eliminate larger wrestlers is a common spot, one wrestler who has always avoided this is wrestling legend The Big Show. Whenever Big Show was eliminated from the annual matchup, it would only be by one individual. Interestingly, this means that the former WWE champion is the only 7-foot-tall wrestler to compete in several Rumble matches and never be eliminated by a group of wrestlers. It's unclear why WWE booked Show in this manner, but it was likely that they believed that having one wrestler eliminate him would put the spotlight on them directly, whereas it's hard to make anyone shine when it comes to a group elimination. Number 16, Triple H, and the number 8. The 2010 Royal Rumble saw Triple H enter his 8th Royal Rumble, and to mark the occasion, the game would enter the match at number 8. Another crazy fact is that the match marked 8 years since Triple H had last won the Rumble, that being the 2002 Rumble. The number 8 is synonymous with Triple H, as H is the 8th letter of the alphabet. The 2010 Rumble appearance of the game wasn't one he'll fondly remember, as he lasted 18 minutes before he was shockingly eliminated by his DX teammate, Shawn Michaels. If only he had just lasted 8 minutes, this would have made it more of a coincidence. Number 15, the OVW Big Four. The OVW Big Four consisted of John Cena, Randy Orton, Batista, and Brock Lesnar. These names were brought into the WWE's developmental territory at around the same time, and the four names would go on to become some of the most popular and successful names to ever lace up a pair of boots in the WWE ring. But in relation to the Royal Rumble, these names stand out, as all of the original OVW Big Four have each won not one, but 2 Royal Rumble matches. To break it down into specific Rumbles, Cena won the 2008 and 2013 Rumble, Orton won the 2009 and 2017 Rumble, Batista won the 2005 and 2014 Rumble, and finally, Lesnar won the 2003 and 2022 Rumble. Number 14, the 2016 Royal Rumble has an AEW connection. WWE decided to deliver something completely different for the 2016 Rumble. They would decide to have the match for Roman Reigns' WWE title, and this gave the match a fresh lease of life, especially after several years of total duds. But the match has a key AEW connection, as a whopping 1/3 of the wrestlers in the matchup will go on to sign with AEW over the next few years. These names include Rusev, Chris Jericho, Goldust, Luke Harper, Cody Rhodes, Big Show, Neville, Dean Ambrose, Mark Henry, and Jack Swagger. Number 13, 2024, and the Aussie Curse. That wasn't a good day to be an Australian pro wrestler in the 2024 Royal Rumble. In both men's and women's matches, both of the first names eliminated were Australian-born wrestlers. In the men's, the first name eliminated was Grayson Waller, who was eliminated by Carmelo Hayes. In relation to the women's Rumble, the first name eliminated was Indy Hartwell, who would be eliminated by Bayley. Number 12, you can get disqualified in the Rumble itself. One of the Royal Rumble stipulations that WWE have never truly explained is whether a wrestler can be disqualified. The match has seen numerous weapons being used, including in 2001, where an entire section of the match was dedicated to hardcore antics. Whenever weapons were used in the match over the years, it was just assumed that the match was a no DQ encounter. However, in 2008, WWE seemingly changed this rule as Finlay was disqualified from the Rumble matchup. Finlay would enter the match before his allocated slot to attack Mark Henry and Big Daddy V, and because Finlay did this and used a weapon, he was disqualified from the match. It appears that wrestlers are allowed to use weapons if they enter at their allocated number, however, any early involvement in the in-ring action could potentially result in disqualification. This rule must have been established in 2008, as a few years prior in 2003, Christian was involved in Chris Jericho's scheme to distract Shawn Michaels earlier on in the match, and Christian was still allowed to re-enter the match when his time came. Although Christian didn't physically enter the ring, he was still involved in the match in some capacity, so the rules remain complex and unclear. Number 11, Roman Reigns holds this Rumble record. Roman Reigns is a notable Royal Rumble match performer, and the record that Reigns currently holds is that he has the record for being the last man eliminated the most times with 4. The years that Reigns was the second to last man standing were 2014, 2017, 2018, and finally 2020. It's likely that these numbers would be even higher if it wasn't the case that in subsequent years following 2020, Reigns was usually defending his world title, so his services weren't required for the Rumble itself. Number 10, the match can be restarted. Now imagine a Royal Rumble where the match is restarted from the very beginning. We've seen the match restart from the final 2 back in 2005, but according to WWE's official rules released in 2012, it is possible that WWE can restart the match. While it's proven to be a rare occurrence, being an unclear winner at the end, there's no doubt that this kind of scenario creates a lot of confusion and leaves one superstar thinking he may have been robbed of a victory. What better way to assure even odds and keep the WWE universe on its toes than make the final 2 participants fight 28 other superstars over again? After all, who wouldn't want to witness double the Royal Rumble match madness in one night? Now that's people power. Now this would unlikely ever happen in WWE due to it being a logistical nightmare. Yet it's an interesting established rule that not a lot of fans know about. Number 9, the 2023 Men's Rumble holds this distinction. The 2023 Men's Royal Rumble was the first time in WWE history that the match had ended with number 1 and 30 battling it out. Gunther would enter the match at number 1, whilst eventual winner Cody Rhodes would enter the match at number 30. The two would have a mini-match of sorts at the end of the match, and following Rhodes' win, there were calls from fans to see the two have a featured feud down the line, which they did in 2024. Another fact about the 2023 Men's Rumble is that it's the longest 30-man Rumble in company history. The match came in with a runtime of 1 hour and 11 minutes, and the 2 Rumbles that had the 40 and 50 men also had extended runtimes due to the extra bodies, with the 40-man Rumble in 2011 lasting 1 hour and 10 minutes, and the 50-man Rumble that took place in 2018 at the Greatest Royal Rumble managing to last a staggering 1 hour and 17 minutes. Number 8, 2023 and 2024 and married couples. Now there's a unique and no doubt deliberate statistic when it comes to the 2023 and 2024 Rumble. 2023 marked the first time in which Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, who are a happily married couple, entered their respective Rumble at the same number, that being number 15. The following year, WWE would repeat this time with both Jimmy Uso and Naomi drawing number 2. WWE traditionally put a ton of effort into mapping out the entrance order. This is definitely an Easter egg for fans of Rumble statistics and records. Number 7, Rhea Ripley and Hulk Hogan have this in common. Hulk Hogan and Rhea Ripley are the most threatening Royal Rumble entrants in history. Hogan has an elimination record of almost 7 per Rumble appearance, whereas Ripley has a total of 5 eliminations on average. Due to Hogan's star power and prior status as the face of the company, it was an expectation that he would be given the spotlight whenever he made a Rumble appearance. As for Ripley, she's a name that's always been able to shine inside the Rumble match, and this track record is only likely to improve as the years go on. Number 6, the wrestler with the longest time between the Rumble is... At the 2009 Royal Rumble, Hacksaw Jim Duggan set the record for the longest time between Rumbles with 17 years between Rumble appearances. Prior to 2009, Duggan's last appearance came in 1992, and Duggan's appearance was a welcome addition to the 2009 Rumble as it received a huge pop. It's highly unlikely that this record is ever beaten, yet stranger things have happened in WWE. Number 5, wrestlers can legally steal a spot. One of the rules that has confused fans since the inception of the Royal Rumble concept is the idea that wrestlers can basically steal a fellow wrestler's place in the match, and respective general managers and authority figures won't have an issue with it. Numerous instances of this have occurred over the years, notably in 1999 when Headbanger Marsh was about to make his entrance. He was attacked backstage by a returning Mabel. Mabel then simply walked out of the backstage area to the ring, and WWE even played his theme, thus implying that he was legally allowed to enter. A similar incident occurred in 2004 when Test was laid out backstage by Mick Foley. This time, Stone Cold Steve Austin directly ordered Foley to get into the ring and replace Test. And this seemed to imply that it's a condition that the attacker must replace the individual that they had attacked. Almost identical rules apply when it comes to stolen numbers, as in 2005, Kurt Angle simply stole Nuncio's number backstage. From a kayfabe perspective, it's a surprise that this doesn't happen more. With that being said, it's a storyline element that could get stale extremely quickly if it occurred every year. Number 4, the 2019 Royal Rumble is the last Rumble where, well, the 2019 Men's Royal Rumble was won by Seth Rollins, and the match is now known for being the final Rumble where everyone in the match is actually still alive. The 2018 Rumble was previously known for this, but that was until the tragic passing of the legendary Bray Wyatt. Number 3, an active WCW champion entered the 2001 Rumble. Now, the 2001 Royal Rumble is considered by many to be the greatest Royal Rumble of all time. The Rumble from top to bottom is booked to perfection, and this was the case in WWE truly mastering how to deliver a Rumble match for the ages. The match also featured a surprise return as Haku made a return to the company despite being active on WCW television, and he was even their reigning WCW Hardcore Champion. This summed up the state of WCW at the time, as Haku won the title with his main character just a week before the Rumble, so WCW management clearly had no idea what was going on. Number 2, Chavo Guerrero was the first world champion to do this. When WWE relaunched the ECW brand in 2006, they were quick to label and market the ECW title as a world title, just like the WWE and world title on Raw and SmackDown. Unfortunately, just 18 months into this relaunch, it was almost as if WWE lost interest in presenting the ECW title as a title that was on par to the other two world titles, and this was made clear with the 2008 Rumble. Entrant number 26 in their 2008 Rumble was Chavo Guerrero, and Guerrero at the time was the reigning ECW champ. It was labelled on commentary that Guerrero would have a chance to challenge for a world title if he won the Rumble, and this officially meant that the ECW world title was no longer considered to be a world title in the company, despite it still being labelled as such on ECW commentary. And if you made it this far, give the video a thumbs up, as number 1, second time's the charm. The 4 iconic WWE names Hulk Hogan, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Cody Rhodes all have something in common when it comes to the Royal Rumble. All 4 names won back-to-back Rumbles, and every one of them lost their first WrestleMania matchup following the Rumble win. Amazingly, the year after, when all 4 men won the Rumble again, this time they would be successful in their respective WrestleMania matchup. The first Rumble that Hogan would win was in 1990, and at WrestleMania 6, he would be defeated by the Ultimate Warrior in the show's main event. The following year, Hogan would once again win the annual matchup, and this time he successfully defeated Sergeant Slaughter in the main event of WrestleMania 7. Now, it's worth noting that this wasn't until 1993 that the concept of the Rumble winner challenging for the WWE title at WrestleMania was even established. But then in 1995, Shawn Michaels would win the Rumble only to come up short against Diesel at WrestleMania 11. The following year, HBK would win his match at WrestleMania 12, and he would defeat Bret Hart in a legendary Iron Man matchup. When it comes to Austin, he would win the 97 Royal Rumble, and due to the controversy relating to his win, he wouldn't end up challenging for the WWE title at WrestleMania 13.
Yeah, that's about the end of it. It's 21 minutes. How crazy that is. 21 minutes. Well, actually.